I'm Msgr Bill Parent, and welcome to the Back Pew of St. Elizabeth Church. Today is Wednesday, April 8th, the last day of Lent in this long Lent of the coronavirus. Some of you have been asking me the question that's on pretty much every Christian's mind these days. What am I supposed to do for Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and most of all, Easter Sunday this year? Usually, I'd have an easy answer, but not this year. In this update, I will try to answer this question for our St. Elizabeth's Parish family in the midst of this coronavirus separation. First, allow me to focus the question. In asking, what do I do, what am I supposed to do on our three great holy days this year, we're really asking, where and how do I encounter Christ in the midst of this pandemic, especially on Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter Sunday? In previous updates, I've given you a few ideas how I might answer this, but let me say something I've hinted at before as clearly as possible now. We do not encounter Christ through video screens. Now, be careful. Don't jump to any conclusions. I'm not implying that there's anything wrong with watching live-streamed or recorded masses on our screens. Throughout this crisis, we here at St. E's have provided on our website links to video masses that are far better produced than anything we could ever do here, including Archbishop Gregory's Holy Week ceremonies. There's absolutely nothing wrong with finding comfort and consolation in the familiarity of watching Mass on our video screens. But a Mass on a video screen is not where Christ is present now, just as I am not really present to you now. This picture, this sound is a mode of communication. Lights and shadows dancing on pixels, electric current pulsing through speakers. But I am not here with you. This video is a good and useful communication tool, but it's not real in the manner of our prayer and worship. Video screens are ultimately 21st century art, or at least they're potentially art. Watching sacred images on our video screens is not unlike the experience of Christians throughout the ages gazing upon sacred images in statues or in stained glass. Our video images are much more lifelike, of course, and they move and talk, but they're still images. They're not real. The Catholic Church actually addressed this issue 1,200 years ago. The issue was obviously not video, but rather the place of sacred images in our faith. In the 8th century, the Second Council of Nicaea responded to the iconoclasts who were destroying sacred images because they believed them to be false idols. The council taught that icons, sacred images, deserve reverence and veneration, but not adoration, which is reserved for God. And so when we kneel before a statue in prayer, we are not praying to the statue. We know that the statue is a mere reflection of reality, a reflection that helps focus our mind and our prayer on the deeper reality that it represents, whether it's God or a saint, but it's not real. And what is true of sacred images is also true of our sacred videos. They are reflections of reality that help focus our mind and our prayer on the reality they represent, but they are not God. They're not other people. They're not real. So if streaming Mass is not the answer, where do we encounter Christ now? Look around you. Look at the people you live with. If you live alone, look in a mirror. You are temples of the Holy Spirit. You are living tabernacles. Even if your spouse is not Christian, he or she is created in the image of the living God. God is with us now at this very moment, right in front of us, despite our separation from the sacraments. Again, be careful. I'm not implying that we should start worshiping ourselves or each other, which is arguably the great modern heresy, but that's a topic for another day. Nor am I implying that this mode of presence is a substitute for the Eucharist. The Eucharist is the real, living, personal, pure, quintessential presence of Christ among us. But properly understood, the Eucharist is not so much a thing, but a way of life that transforms us into living tabernacles to bear the presence of Christ into the world, to bring it healing and hope. The presence we bear does not vanish when we're separated from the sacraments through no fault of our own. Throughout this coronavirus Lent and into our coronavirus future, Christ is calling us to encounter Him in our homes, not on our video screens, but in our loved ones and in ourselves. To help give this encounter of Christ Catholic shape and connection to the Eucharist, we have been working feverishly to produce a worship guide for you. We're calling it simply Christ in Your Home. You'll immediately recognize the structure and the prayers as a Mass without the Eucharist. So what are you supposed to do on Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter Sunday this year? Turn off your screens and encounter Christ in your home. In my next update, I will go into a little more detail about how to pray with Christ in your home. Until then, may God bless you and keep you safe.